Good evening. This is April 27, 2020, meeting of the Ellettsville Town Council. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, we are holding this meeting remotely and conducting the meeting by Zoom. If you have joined us tonight, you saw the clerk treasurer's agenda and the link to Zoom in order to observe this meeting. All future meetings to be conducted remotely will have a link posted on the meeting notice, as well as a password and meeting ID, so that you can observe the meeting on your computer or your phone. To reduce background noise, members of the public will be muted until I call for public comment, at which point public can ask to comment by using the raise hand function. The town's buildings are closed to the public until Governor Hawkins rescinds his emergency order. The town of Ellettsville will continue to offer town services, though some services may be restricted or delayed during the emergency. Okay, having said that, if we can get to a roll call, Sandy?
Dan Swafford,
Here.
Scott Oldham,
I'm here.
William Ellis,
Here.
Trevor Sager,
Here.
Pam Samples,
Okay. Is Jimmy Durnall here?
Yes, I'm here.
Jimmy, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
I will, sir. Thank you. We pause this wonderful occasion. And I thank you so much for the blessing you bestowed on this little community, and just be with us throughout the evening, with the sick.
I think you cut out a little bit, Jimmy. As we stated, this is a first for the town of Ellettsville, our first virtual town hall meeting. So there'll probably be a few quirks we have to get through. So just please be patient with us. Trevor, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Yep, sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trevor. Okay, I'd entertain a motion for the minutes of the regular meeting, March 9th, 2020, and the executive session, work session, and emergency session on March 16th, 2020. Is there a motion?
So moved. I make a motion to approve minutes from the work session on the dates you mentioned.
And Scott Oldham second that. Sandy, can you roll call that, please?
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. All right, next is account payable vouchers and payroll for March and April. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Sandy, roll call, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, and I will state, everything will be a roll call vote tonight, because when several people talk at the same time, it cuts us out. So we will do a roll call. Okay, let's move on to resolutions. Resolution 10-2020 to declare a local emergency. Sandy, can you tell us briefly about this?
Okay, do you want me to read the highlights? I can,
Yeah,
or I
just
can put
read
it
the
up.
highlights and then put up the ordinance to, or the resolution too, please.
Okay, well, this was which one? I'm sorry.
10-2020.
Okay, thank you. Would you like me just to read it, or is it okay on the screen?
I think it's okay on the screen. If you just want to
I
kind of
agree.
basically just give us a quick outline what it is.
Maybe Darla would be better to do that.
I put together this resolution to memorialize the conversations and the votes that the town council made during its March 16th, 2020 emergency meeting. So the purpose of this resolution, again, is just to memorialize the fact that at the March 16th, 2020 emergency meeting, the town council declared that there was a local emergency. And the resolution also states that the emergency declaration will remain in full force and effect until Governor Eric Holcomb either rescinds his declaration of a public health emergency or the town council in a special or regular scheduled meeting cancels the resolution or passes new emergency actions that supersede this resolution.
Thank you, Darla and Sandy. Is there any council comments on this? And Sandy, if you could go back to the regular view. Okay. Any council comments? Is there any public comment at this time? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion?
I guess I got a question. Do we need to reapprove this, Darla, since we did it once?
I think you do, because the first one was done at an emergency meeting, so I think it's appropriate to memorialize it in this resolution. And I would also add that once the town council starts meeting at the town hall again in person, the town council will need to ratify every single resolution, ordinance, motion that it approved while it was meeting remotely. So this will come up again.
All right, then I would move that we pass this resolution.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. William, you take it.
All right. Did I ask for public comment? I'm sorry, I did, didn't I?
You did.
Okay. Sandy, roll call, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving along to resolution 1120 to enact COVID-19 emergency employee and operation policy and to enact the procedures and formalities during a disaster emergency. Sandy, you want to put that up on the screen? And Darla, can you give us a quick synopsis of this?
Again, this is a resolution that I put together to memorialize motions that were passed during the town council's emergency meeting on March 16th, 2020. And what this resolution does is it sets forth the actions that were taken by the town council, specifically with regard to closing municipal buildings or at least restricting public access to them, and certain personnel matters or issues that the town council took up during that March 16th meeting. And again, the resolution is retroactive to March 16th, 2020. The resolution will remain in full force and effect until either Governor Holcomb rescinds his declaration of a public health emergency or the town council rescinds this.
Thank you. Is there a motion on resolution 1120?
So moved.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Any council comment on this? Seeing none, is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, Sandy, can you roll call, please?
Yes, do you want me to take it down or leave it up?
Take it down, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, no ordinance on first reading, ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 2020-15 to replace section 150 of the Ellettsville Town Code regarding building department, building commissioners, and building codes. Is this Kevin? See now, Darla, can you kind of?
Yes, this was discussed at the last town council meeting that was held, I think, the first or the second Monday in March. What we are waiting on is approval from the state and we have not received that yet. So I would ask the town council to table this ordinance, please.
Okay, any council comments? Seeing none, is there a motion to table this?
Motion to table.
Is there a second? Okay. Sandy, roll call, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, ordinance 2020-16 to add roundabout to the traffic section of the Ellettsville Town Code. Darla?
This was discussed also at the last town council meeting, and what this ordinance states is that the mini roundabout over on West Raymond Run and Impatient Street will have new signage in place so that there will be a yield sign at every entrance to the mini roundabout instead of the way it is currently, which is there are 2 stop signs there and 2 yield signs, and I think people are finding that confusing. So the purpose of this ordinance is just to state that there will be yield signs posted at each entrance into the mini roundabout. And this is over in Lytton Estates. It's located in Lytton Estates.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any council comment on motion 2020-16 or ordinance? Any public comment? Seeing none, Sandy, roll call?
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, under old business, final approval economic revitalization area for the Key Distributors LLC and Economic Development Agreement. Who is this? Is Denise, are you here for this or?
I can speak to that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say Kevin's here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. I would ask for this to be tabled again. I'm still waiting to hear back from Scannell and Cahey on exactly where we stand. I think everything's all right, but they haven't given me the go-ahead yet. And there's still a couple resolutions pending that have not come before council yet. I think we're waiting till we actually met in person. Hopefully that's soon. If not, I will keep the board updated on what I know.
Thank you. Okay, and unless there's council comment on this, I would move to table this.
Second.
Who was that, the second?
I did.
Okay. Sandy, roll call, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, jumping down to new business. Request to move Officer Dustin White from part-time to full-time, retroactive to March 27, 2020. And there's a typo, Sandy, it says Marcy, 27.
Oops, sorry.
Jimmy Durnall, are you here?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I sent this out in an email before what would have been the last meeting we should have had, our first meeting in March. Dustin, of course, is working part-time for us now, has been for almost 10 months now. He was scheduled to go to recruit school in May, and that all has been put on hold. They're not sure. I called again today, and they have no idea when Governor Holcomb is going to release that restriction right now. But Dustin's doing a great job. He's ready to go, still up, and they've extended his period to go for another year. So he actually has now until next July of 2021 to go. And I would recommend that we move him to full-time so he can get the benefits. He is working a full-time schedule right now, and this would be retroactive to the 27th of March.
Okay. Is there any council comment on this?
No, we need to do this, guys, because the academy right now is canceled and we have no idea when the next academy is going to go. Jimmy can't go that long without somebody in a full-time status, and it's not fair to Dustin to ask him to work at any other status besides full-time.
Yes, thank you.
Agreed.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
Second.
Who made the motion
I will.
and who was the second?
Me, Trevor.
Thank you.
Okay, Sandy, roll call, please.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Next thing, local roads and bridges matching grant agreement between the Indiana Department of Transportation and the town of Ellettsville. Is this Kevin?
This is Denise.
Denise? I'm getting
Can you
these
hear
wrong.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. We were awarded grant for paving as we apply every year for the community crossings matching grant. They did things a little bit different this year. Instead of dividing the streets into projects, it's all under one grant application. So we have 11 streets that will be paved. The grant is for $357,154.42. Town of Ellettsville matches $119,051.52. The total of projects about $476,205.90. And I'm requesting approval for Dan Swafford as president of the town council to sign the agreement of NDOT. They require us to sign this agreement and return it before we can get any funding. And I'm under some pretty strict timelines with this grant agreement. And Darla has,
Okay. Go ahead, Denise.
and Darla has reviewed the agreement. I think she sent you all an email.
Okay. Is there any council comment on this?
Yeah, just real quick, Sandy, this is confirmed already in the budget. We planned for this. It's not an unexpected thing.
That's correct.
All right.
All right, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll motion that we give you authority to sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any public comment on that?
I'm sorry. So is that a motion to approve the agreement and to give Dan authority to sign on behalf of the town? I'm sorry. It was
Yes.
a part motion. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he cut out at the first. I didn't hear it either, but I think I heard that, so. Okay, no public. Sandy, roll call, please. Scott, did you want to say something?
No.
Sorry. Okay. Sandy, roll call.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome, Denise. Thank you. Okay, agreement between the town of Ellettsville and Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors for continuing disclosure on service bonds. Is this Darla?
Yes, I reviewed the agreement and I do not believe I sent an email to everyone, but this agreement is similar to continuing disclosure agreements that the town has had with Baker Tilly in the past. And the purpose of this is to basically keep us out of trouble because there are certain reporting requirements that need to be done on the bonds. And this simply authorizes Baker Tilly to make those annual reports for us so that we're compliant.
Okay. Any council comment on this? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move that we, I guess, complete this agreement, sign this agreement between ourselves and Baker Tilly.
Second.
In a second, is there any public comment? Seeing none, Sandy?
Dan
Roll call.
Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, now we will move to privilege of the floor. If you are in the audience and would like to speak, please hit the raise hand function and we will recognize your name and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Hey, Kenny Blackwell, if you're in the audience, I saw you in the audience. This would be a good time to talk.
Yeah, this is Kenny Blackwell, and we bought the 17 acres on Highway 46. And I shared a drawing today with Mike of what we're trying to do there. And I've not really did any developments in Ellettsville, so I'm kind of green at this. I'm mostly here to try to learn. Mike, I don't have that drawing with me. Did you get that out to anybody?
Mike, did you hear the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. My tap didn't work. Yeah, I did not get it out to everybody, Kenny. I'm going to send it out right after the meeting so they can look at it. But I think you can verbally be pretty descriptive about what's going to happen. And I apologize I didn't get that out ahead of time.
Yeah. I just went and grabbed a copy of what we're trying to do. And I don't know if it's going to show up. Can you guys all see that?
Not really, no.
Okay.
What's
Anyway,
what
Go ahead.
17 acres is it?
it's Dan Rary had it listed. It's straight across from the IU Credit Union.
It's a Headley property.
Yes.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do there is, we're going to try to do some outlots up front, some apartments in the middle, and 18 single-family lots in the back. And it's the apartments is 156 units, 6 buildings. The lots meet the lots that are on Centennial. They're about the same size, and the lots that come on Ashbrook Lane. So we're trying to put the lots in the back, the apartments in the middle, and then 3 outlots up front.
Okay. For the record, I'd just like to state that Pam has joined us, Sandy.
Thank
So,
you.
Is there any council questions for Kenny? Can we look forward to seeing some more information? If you could get all that to Mike, and so we can look at it and then go from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Jen Pearl, you have a question?
Actually, just a brief public comment, if I may, if now's an okay time for that.
Sure.
Thank you. So my name is Jennifer Pearl, and I'm the president of the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. We serve all of Monroe County and have been working really closely with partners across the whole community in the COVID-19 response, including a number of individuals here, Michael Farmer, Dan Swafford, and others, as we've been trying to coordinate our responses. And just wanted to say thank you, and also just wanted to publicly thank all of the others who are working on the front lines across our community, everybody from the healthcare workers to the public health officials, the emergency responders, public safety workers, frontline workers, especially those in restaurant and hospitality teams, transit personnel, government employees who keep working, social service and philanthropic partners, educators, utilities and infrastructure crews, manufacturers, financial and legal teams, and then all of the families who've been supporting the people who are on the front lines. It's been remarkable to see how our community has really pulled together. And we've been really delighted to work both with the stabilization and recovery for the economy, working across our community. We are hosting the State of the Bloomington Regional Economy this Wednesday, if anybody's interested in seeing that, and look forward to coordinating more with all of you across the community as we work to bounce back from this. So really just a thank you. and looking forward to working with you more.
Thank you, Jen. And I would like to give a shout out. You've been doing a wonderful job pulling everyone together on the COVID-19 meetings. It's been very educational, and it's been a big help for me too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, I'd like to go to Emily from the HT next. You have a comment?
Kind of. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I know this is a little unorthodox use of public comment from a reporter, but I did just want to say, I know I have talked to some of you in the capacity of being city reporter for the Herald Times, but I also wanted to introduce myself as the editor of the Ellettsville Journal. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm covering you in that capacity. I will also probably some stories in covering you, like this meeting will be also seen in the Herald Times now. But I found it pertinent to introduce myself and to show, you know, the Fourth Estate Authority that's in Ellettsville right now, and just to say something to all of you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Is there anyone else from the public? We'll give a couple minutes. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to supervisor comments. Before we get into supervisor comments, I just want to take a few minutes to thank everyone in the town, the first responders, to the plant or the street guys. Everyone has been doing a wonderful job during this time that's historical. You know, something like this has never happened in my lifetime. And I just giving you guys a kudos. You've done an awesome job, every single one of you. And I'm very proud of everyone in the town and all the town employees, the first responders, all the way down to the billing department. Everyone's been doing a fantastic job. So, okay, at this time, we're going to go to the supervisors. Jimmy, do you have anything to
No,
state?
following Ms. Darlow's directions today, I'm good.
Thank you. We will move to Mike Farmer.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Hey, Dan, I second what you said about the employees. They've been working in a safe manner. They've been real good attitude about coming in and working when they need to. And we've got down to a new normal, if you will. And everybody's been real enthusiastic about it. So kudos to the employees for working when, you know, when it's doubly hard to do their job. I'd like to thank Sandy and Kevin for putting together this Zoom meeting. I really appreciate their efforts to allow us to go ahead and gather. Jen, thank you for you and your BDC staff for making sure Ellettsville's taken care of as well as the rest of the Monroe County. And we really appreciate your professionalism and your interest in helping everyone. So a big shout out to the BEDC. Other than that, I did talk with Kenny Blackwell, and it looks like a pretty exciting proposal that he has to put forth. All the information will go through Kevin Talati, and I've known Kenny for a long time, and I think he'll put together something that'll be real good for the community. So I'm pretty excited about it myself. The last thing I'd say is everybody be safe.
Thank you, Mike. And I want to also state, Mike, you've been excellent during this time too. You've kind of been the voice of Ellettsville for us, and we really appreciate it. All the hard work you've been putting in for this. Thank you a lot.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, let's move to Kevin. Kevin, do you have anything?
Not really. Everything's been running as smooth as can be expected. Denise has been doing a great job working when she needs to come in, working everything else from home. Dan Durheimer, our stormwater and building inspector, has been doing a lot of work too on stormwater inspection. He's been a great addition to our department so far. So things are going well. Probably have some new projects coming in once we get back up and running full speed again, but I don't want to get into any of those quite yet. I did have a question as to when we will actually be working in our office again, if there's been any decision made on that.
Not to this, at this point yet. I'm actually in council comments going to bring that up to the council and see what they have to say on that. So hang in there. At the end of the meeting, we'll get around to talking about that.
Dan, I'd like to say one more thing. I forgot to appraise the efforts of Denise and Kip Hetty and Danny Stalkup in getting us another community crossing grant. It's a really big deal. It brings a lot of money into improving our infrastructure as it deals with streets and sidewalks. It's the last 3 years have been a success, and they really were. I know they put a lot of time into it, and they work hard on it, and it's a really big deal to me. So I'd just like to say that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. Kevin, was that it?
Yeah, that was all I had.
Thank you. And I agree with what Mike said. You guys, Denise, all you guys have been doing wonderful. The whole town has. Okay, moving along. I'm looking at the picture, so I'm going to call on Sandy next. Sandy, do you have anything to report?
No, my only concern, I think, is when will, like Kevin Talati asked, when will we be able to get back to a little more normal work atmosphere? And then I think the resolution you passed covers my questions on the continuance of payroll. So I think I'm good.
Okay, thank you. And like I said, I will be bringing that up in the council comments, and we will discuss that. Okay, let's keep moving along. Mike Corman. Wake up, Mike.
Good evening. I don't have anything to add tonight.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Danny Stockett.
I'm good. I have really no comments.
Okay. Is the town being mowed? I've seen the mowing crews out several times. Is everything going good with that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up, but we're bringing 2 guys in a day that it's not raining. We have the same 2 come in together, and we try to keep them apart, as much as we can. But the same 2 guys work each time, so we don't, spread it between the whole group.
Sure, and I appreciate that. Okay, did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. So we will jump down to council comments. Kip,
Dan?
I'm sorry. I see you now. Sorry about that, Kip. I missed you. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry, I couldn't find the hand button really quick enough. This should have been, I don't know if I should have brought this up whenever you guys discussed the community crossings grant, but Denise and I and Danny have been, trying to get this to go through quick or as fast as possible so we can get our money coming to us. We need to get the advertisement for bidders put out. And I'm probably going to get in contact with Darla to make sure I do this right. And before in the past, they come to the town hall to pick up the bidders packet. And then the bids are to be in at a certain date by a certain time to be opened up, by the council. Well, I would like to get this out immediately. So I don't know whether if this is something that Danny and Darla and I and Denise can work out or what to do. I'd like to get it out as soon as I could and have the bids received by the May 26th meeting. That would give the bidders 30 days to bid on this. I didn't know if there's any suggestions on doing this or what's everybody's idea.
Darla?
Electronically?
Well, we'll have to talk about that, and I can get with Danny and Kip and Kevin and Denise. Maybe what we do is we put the materials online and let the contractors pick it up, and then they can submit the bids electronically. And then we'll have to think about how how to open them at a meeting, but we have some time, but Kip is right. Our deadline, if I'm not mistaken, is 4 months after the award letter, which was dated April 17th. So we have to have materials and a contractor in place 4 months from April 17th. So we've got some time, but yeah, we need to hustle to get on it. So.
And Denise has said before, I think something about the, forgive me, I can't remember the terminology, but the state's calendar year, I guess, is like the towns is in July or June or July. So therefore, they don't actually or give out the money until after that's done. So if we wait too long to get this submitted, then we'll be later in the year getting our money. I guess, is that right, Darla?
Actually, Kevin or Denise would be better able to speak to that than me, so.
What it is the state's fiscal year is July 1st through June 30th, and they won't pay any funds out to nobody in the month of June. So we need to try to do this as timely to get our money funded a little earlier, or it's going to put us later in the year. If we could get the bids in and get everything signed and to them during the month of June, and there's a good possibility we can get funded probably August, I would say July or August rather than later in the year.
Okay, I think Sandy had some input. Sandy, did you have something to say?
I just wanted to say one option on the bids. They could drop their bid in the utility mailbox. It's checked every morning, Monday through Friday. And if they put their sealed bid in there, we can date them when they come in. And then I would at least have them available. And if we are still doing the Zoom meetings, then maybe I could open the bids at the meeting, or I can drive them to Darla, whichever you prefer.
We'll figure it out.
That sounds good. I guess what we need to do is just get together here from here on out and try to come up with something then. So that's all I had. Also, I want to add one other thing, and I know Danny's had a lot on his mind too as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed that Scott Bruce, he's been out every day, all day pretty much, out sweeping the streets. So we are trying to stay ahead of the game on that too as well. So getting the streets swept and getting a little more done too as well. And that's all I've got.
Thanks, Kip.
Thank you.
All right. Did I miss anyone? Okay. So we're going to go back to the, I'm sorry, did someone say something? Must have been feedback. Scott?
No.
Okay, it must be feedback. Someone's talking? Okay, sorry about that. On council comments, I guess I'll start out and kind of asking what the council thinks about when it's, I don't think it's going to be safe for a while to go back to normal business, but what are the council's feelings on bringing the town back to work with restrictions? I mean, how do you council feel on this?
I don't think until the governor opens the state as a whole that it's prudent at all for the government to do more than what we're doing now for Ellettsville. I mean, if we had a giant gap in services or we had a need, certainly. But I would say until the governor lifts the general restrictions, there's no need for us to hazard our folks any more than what we have already or any more than what we absolutely are required to. And I would just simply leave that to the governor's decree and then go from there.
Yeah, and you know, I think definitely by Friday when he speaks, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen Friday either. He may extend the deadline and everything. So I agree with you on that, Scott.
I agree with both of you.
I think, honestly, guys, we're probably looking at the middle of May before the governor lifts significant restrictions. I mean, being blunt, there's a couple of states that are doing it already, and I think the rest of the states are going to wait to see what happens there before they start moving in a generalized direction.
William, did you add something?
I was just saying, I think we should wait kind of from the direction of what the governor in the state of Indiana is doing. We've kept in Monroe County the cases relatively flat that we know of. I don't know of anybody in Ellettsville, but I'm more concerned with putting our employees at risk. And this county has a lot of travel. And I just think that we need to do our part with minimizing any impact. And I don't see any downside to keeping the offices closed pending that direction from Governor Holcomb.
Okay. Trevor, would you like to add to that?
We got to go safety first here. No need to rush anybody back to work. I agree with what everybody else has said. And I want to also say, I'd see Pam Samples in here now too as well. I don't know if you guys see her on your screen.
Yeah, she's joined us. Pam, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I'm fine with what everybody else thinks. I'm okay with it.
Okay. And Kevin and whoever asked the question, Supervisor, did that give you kind of a general answer? Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Okay, great. All right, we'll keep going with super. Yes.
I do think that Darla included the governor's instruction in our resolution.
Okay.
That we would remain until the governor lifted the restrictions. Correct, Darla?
Yes.
Okay, but my thing is, and I guess kind of what I was worried is, say Friday, because I think he's relieving or lifting some of the things Friday. If he does Friday, I guess we just need to wait and see what happens Friday, and go from there. There's no sense in second guessing everything. All right, council comments on anything else?
Yeah.
Or Scott, go ahead.
Sorry. As we know, and I think quite honestly, we've done a good job of keeping our employees literally employed. There are unfortunately a lot of businesses in town who've not been able to enjoy that same luxury. And therefore you've got people who are desperately in need. And you have to forgive me because I don't remember the number. One of the local Girl Scout troops has a food pantry that serves a tremendous amount of people, generally supported by donations, generally supported by some of the local businesses who are now having issues. And Sandy, you'll have to help, but I would like to see the town make some type of donation. I'm just going to throw out $2,500 to that food pantry to see if we can get them through this time. I don't care if it comes out a rainy day or where it comes from, but we need to do this, at least in my opinion, to help get them through this and get our folks fed.
Yeah, great idea, Scott. I'm with you 100% on that.
Are you talking about the Pantry 279, Scott?
That is it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I appreciate you catching that for me because I just didn't remember the number.
Okay. How's the rest of council feel?
Very supportive. I think we should. That's what rainy day funds are for, and right now it's pouring.
Yeah. Pam, do you have anything?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Okay. All right. So, Scott, do you want to make a motion?
Well, a little advice from Sandy. Is there someplace you'd prefer it come from instead of rainy day, or what's the best way to route this?
I think
Sandy,
right now we should take it from the general fund out of promotion of town business.
Is there 2,500 in there?
There is.
Okay. Then yes, I would move that we make a grant or however term it, Sandy, grant to the local food bank run by Girl Scouts 279 in $2,500.
I'll second.
Any council comment? Any public comment on that? Seeing none, Sandy, roll call?
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Pam Samples,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, and Scott, I'd like to also kind of tack on to a little bit of that. If you know of any businesses, small businesses in Ellettsville The food and beverage tax has grants available right now. If any of the small businesses in Ellettsville, they're looking for some to help out, you know, and they're kind of looking for people that with promotion of any kind of tourism or something. But right now they're being very laxed on it. So if you guys know of any small business in Ellettsville that is in need of that, it's on their website and they can download the application and go from there. William, did you have something?
Yeah,
to say?
2 things. First of all, I want to thank the Monroe County Commissioners because my business used to be new, did get a grant from them for $3,000. Secondly, though, there's 2 applications. One of businesses in the city limits of Bloomington. We're looking for one on the Monroe County website. So far, only 12 people have applied. And the only reason 2 of them didn't get it was because they were blatantly not tourism related. Like Dan said, you know, if you can make the case it brings people into the county, your business does, that would be considered tourism. And quite a few businesses did get this, but only 10 were granted, 68,000, I think 700 was the number. And there's more in there. So please, people, apply for the EIDL loan from the Small Business Administration and the PPP loan, the Payment Protection Plan. If you have employees from the Small Business Administration, those funds are pretty empty and not fully funded yet. And I haven't heard back since March 23rd on mine, but get in queue because there's millions ahead of you, and the longer you wait, the less chance you're going to get it.
Thank you, William.
Dan? Dan?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Could we go back to the Pantry 279? That was really a good idea to help them out. And I'd sent everyone an email today. It was a forward from one of their representatives, and they are actively looking for a new home. They've grown out of the home they're in. I think they've taxed some of the ability of the church to help them. So they are actively looking for a new home. So if anybody knows of a place that they may set up camp, or we're going to look around town and try to help them find a place. But I just, if you need that email resent to you, I can. But they are looking for a new home.
Mike, there's 2 places they might want to check into. One in Richland Plaza used to be like a thrift store, and also used to be a movie gallery right there as you come in. It's been vacant for a while. Rubicon might work some deal with them. And then the other, what's that?
I said, okay.
Okay. And the other is Kevin Ferris's old mattress shop.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. I go by there every day. I hadn't even thought of that. So, yeah, okay. Well, that's a couple good leads, and I'll act on those. Thank you.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
You know, while we're talking about 279, let's not forget Richland Bean Blossom Schools, because they've been feeding a whole lot of folks.
Yeah, they were on the news a couple of weeks ago, and I was really impressed to see the business that they are doing. And
well, I think the food truck was an outstanding idea.
It was outstanding, and just a great thing for that they're doing for our community. So, Pam, do you have anything to add to?
Nope, don't have anything.
Okay, and I think I've asked Trevor. William, go ahead.
Well, there's been some discussion of us honoring the senior class of Edgewood, and I haven't seen any more discussion or emails on that.
I have information on that, William.
Okay.
Would you like for me to speak now?
Yes,
I would love it.
Okay, yeah. So I was contacted by some parents and a couple of the people in the sports department. And so that evolved into getting a hold of the Superintendent Dick Ackerman. And I've been working with him and Chad Musselwhite, and they are putting together banners to be placed on where we put banners for like the Fall Festival and other things. And so we've got a plan in place where they're going to buy the banners. I think Main Street may be actually buying them for the school. And then the banners will have their hashtag and something 2020, class of 2020. And then there'll be 5 of the seniors names on each one of the banners. And I think there'll be like 35 banners. So we're working on that right now.
That's great, Mike. And yeah, as soon as you can get that put up, that'd be awesome. And I'm sure Kip and Danny will help you out and get everything put on the signs. And that was a wonderful idea. So if there's anything else we can do, because like I said, I really feel sorry for the seniors. This is their big moment and they're going to miss everything. So anything we can do to make it special, I'm all for. So.
Yeah, I think there's a couple other things in the works, maybe a couple of billboards. And so they are going to be recognized.
Great. It's awesome. Okay. Trevor, did I cut you off? Did you need to say anything else?
Nope, I'm all good. Thanks, Dan.
Okay. All right. Any last final council comments? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to thank everyone again. I'd also like to send a shout out to Kevin. He's working the admin for us tonight on this. He's the one behind the scenes for me. He's sending messages, let me know when people had a question and things. Thank you very much, Kevin. And also Sandy for getting this all set up. You guys were awesome. I know Mike had a question. He called me earlier. Mike Corman. Are you still awake, Mike? You look a little droopy there. And I guess I ought to kind of address this a little bit. His question was, if the governor does open up Friday some things, using the training room at the fire station for outside people coming in. Mike, you want to clarify a little bit on that?
Well, no, I was just, I didn't know what the town council felt about using the town buildings. And after talking with you, it appears that we can, whatever they decide, to start opening things up on a scale that we can work it out with that building as to what the scale might be to keep the social distancing appropriate. It is a large building, so a lot of the meetings that we had there are small in nature, so there would be, not really a big deal. I just wanted to run it past you first, and not knowing what we were going to talk about tonight, I think I got the guidance I needed. So I think
okay.
So
I just wanted the rest of the council to know, just in case they yell at you, they can yell at me too and say, "Hey, what are you doing letting people in there?" So I just kind of wanted to make the rest of the council aware of it. So, all right. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. You guys want to stay here all night?
Moved.
I'll make a motion to adjourn it.
Second.
Scott,
Third.
go ahead and second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good job, Dan. Good job.
Thanks, Mike.